What's up, traders? Sandro O'Connell with Pristine Capital coming at you with yet another market recap video. Please go ahead and click the like button on this video. Subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this content. Today, we're going to go through the price action in the indices. We're going to go through this crazy move in Chinese equities, including Futu, which I got long some basically lottery calls yesterday. So we'll go through that. We'll go through all my trades for the day, all that good stuff. Before we jump in, quick risk disclaimer, nothing in this video should be construed as investment advice or recommendations. Please follow your own trading plan and your own risk parameters. And last but certainly not least, do not YOLO your entire account into any one of my trades or anyone's trades for that matter. So let's jump into our box scores first. And here we have it, team. So today was a pretty bullish day across the board, even though the headline indices didn't really move all that much. We had the S&P 500 finish up 0.26%. We had the NASDAQ QQQ finish up 0.4%. IWM small caps were our big leader for today, up 0.94%. And we had the Dow Jones up 0.21%. And what you'll see is we had pretty solid breadth today, positive across all the indices. Best breadth was in the small caps with 66% advancers. So this being said, there were, about a third to a half of these stocks that were down on the day. So it wasn't all green across the screen. Yeah, pretty nice breadth overall. All right, let's jump deeper into our price action. And we're going to flip to our S&P 500. Finish up 0.16% for these futures. I will say we are getting quite extended from this 5-day exponential moving average. Keep in mind that tomorrow this is going to move higher. So the fact that we consolidated for a day was good, that we're letting at least that 5-day EMA catch up. And we're also getting a little bit extended from that 20-day as well. So typically the way it works is, once we get all the way up here, typically it's like, there's no way the market can go down. And then when we're over here, nobody thinks it can go up anymore. So, this is kind of like if we're still in a bullish trend, your risk is down to this 5-day EMA, and I would say also this 20-day EMA. But yeah, overall, no complaints here. Looking pretty good on the S&P 500. Let's jump over to our NASDAQ. NASDAQ was up 0.34%, and we got very close to taking out this R1 pivot here at 15,409.25. So another really strong day for technology. And then, of course, the Russell is our big winner. Check this out. So we advanced up to this 20-day simple moving average, and we actually blew past it. So these small caps, there's huge short interest in these, and pretty much sentiment had gotten, very low. We undercut this 200-day moving average. Now it's starting to look a lot better, but at the same time, keep in mind, we're still trading inside of value. These small caps, it just seems like they're always range bound. We'll have to see if they do something new and exciting in the upcoming days, weeks, months. Next level to the upside is this 50-day simple moving average up here at about 2238 for the Russell. Our Dow Jones, the dogs of the Dow, finished up on the day, but just barely. So the Dow is kind of like the laggard at this point. It's 30 stocks. And they're not exactly the high flyers. There's financials, banks, some old economy stuff in there. Yeah, so the Dow Jones, no trade for me here, long or short. The Dow Jones has yet to reclaim the prior high. All right, let's take a look a little bit deeper. We're going to go into our FinViz heat map and check this out. So the real area that got the big bump was travel and leisure. What we're seeing right now, I've alluded to this if you've been watching these videos, that there's the potential for another almost like a mini reopening trade to take place. We had that spike in COVID cases, and at some point, everyone's going to start to see through COVID. And that's what we are getting now. So the industrials did pretty well, energy, and these travel names. Take a look at some of these travel names. We will pull up Airbnb. Airbnb was a really nice winner. I saw this one all over my Twitter feed. This one I ended up taking a position towards the end of the day, and this is really nice. We cleared out of this pivot up here at 157.55, and then also even earlier than that, this pivot here at 152.71. So yeah, Airbnb looking really good long this one on my trading account, and I've also been sitting long this one in the Pristine Capital Trend portfolio. So yeah, at this point, this to me, like, it's doing something different that it has not been able to do since May. So definitely noteworthy. A lot of times, even if you miss this first day, it feels like, geez, I missed the entire move in Airbnb. And I think that's one of, like the fallacies of trading. A lot of times when you get this huge ignite bar, that's really the beginning of the move. So check it out. We have this pivot level up here at 171.89. And then we have a virgin point of control up here at 175.76. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on those levels. All right, let's jump back. So heat map, let's jump into our sector map. And these sectors, they're all ranked in terms of momentum. So big performers in terms of momentum right now are blockchain assets, software, biotech. But look at this. Big performers for today. We had, where is it? We had retail up 2.12%. We had emerging markets, internet, and e-commerce up 7.16%. And we had the KWEB Chinese Internet ETF up 10.93% in a single day. But take a look at that monthly performance. It's been horrible. Let's take a look at KWEB. We'll also look at FXI. I've been watching these very closely. And check out KWEB. Boom. KWEB. So look at this. We're now above the 20-day simple moving average decisively, and we've moved inside of this monthly value area. There were a few things I talked about in the Pristine Capital pre-market webinar this morning related to China specifically. One being MSCI, which is the world's largest index provider. They have a huge position of power in the industry, saying, hey, Chinese stocks may be able to shrug off concerns caused by Beijing's regulatory crackdown. That to me was the big signal. This could be a huge day for Chinese equities. We also saw Cathie Wood yesterday off of JD's earnings started buying Chinese stocks again. She's a huge trendsetter in the market. A lot of people see what she does and they literally just copy it. So that was the other big signal that today could be good for Chinese equities. And then also, this from Open Outcrier, China regulator approves Tencent's purchase of Studio 9 stake. So just another headline showing, hey, in terms of the regulatory crackdown, it's not all bad. It's not like the Chinese government is going to literally, just destroy Tencent's business. So we had all those factors, and today ended up being a fantastic day. The name that I am long, if you watched yesterday's video, so yesterday I got long as a lottery some calls in Futu, and I think this could be, I'm not going to jinx it or anything. This could end up being a good trade. We'll see what happens. But I got long yesterday down here. I took some 100 strike September 3rd calls for maybe $5 and change. And then it ended up dipping even more, and I added to them for $3.80. These Futu now, they're completely in the money. I had the 100 strike, and now these are marking at a little bit more than a double. But the crazy thing is that I think Futu could have much more to go. And this is the reason why. So Futu has crazy earnings power. So to put it into perspective, Futu, look at the sales numbers, ridiculous growth. Look at the EPS numbers, ridiculous growth. Pinduoduo reported earnings this morning. They missed on revenue. So they missed their revenue number. A lot of times when stocks miss on revenue, the stock just gets crucified. That's when a stock is priced for perfection. Sometimes a stock will beat on earnings and sales, and the stock will tank. So when it's priced for perfection. This missed, and it went up literally, 22.5%? So that's the exact opposite of price for perfection. I think this is the beginning of a bigger move for these Chinese equities, so I'm definitely keeping my eye on this space, 100%. Yeah, looking good so far. So yeah, with Futu, I had a pretty detailed trading plan. Here's how long I want to hold these calls. And what I'm thinking is, if Pinduoduo went up 22% and they pretty much like whiffed on their report, what happens if Futu just like crushes their earnings report? Not saying that will happen, but what could this stock do? They report August 31st. I mean, this at the very least could end up being a power earnings gap setup. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, so we have our sectors, style factors. We had the momentum style factor up 0.8%, cyclicals up 0.88%. So cyclicals were our big winner, and high beta. High beta was up 1.42%. So it just goes to show that we are seeing this reopening trade taking place where, the travel names are doing well, energy's doing well, cyclicals, high beta. And who knows how long this can go on for. It could be, just these couple days, could be even longer. So for me, it's important that I'm not, 100% in like the high flying growth stocks. I definitely want to have some exposure to this group as well. All right, so let's take a look at these trades for today. So this was yesterday, me adding, and this was me doubling down on my Futu September 3rd 100 strike call. So I got some for 355. I got some for 475. I had a feeling that there could be some weakness and some rotation out of these semis. So literally first minute of trading, I was like, I am hitting out of AMD. And I took the small winner, and it ended up working out where AMD pulled back to this 20-day. So I was like, all right, it's always an amazing feeling for me when something goes red and I somehow, close it out for a winner. Because then that's when you're compounding. Like, you take a small winner, then you have a little bit more capital to work with, and you can deploy it somewhere else. So I did that. I took Facebook for a day trade. There was a piece of news out that I believe they're adding ads to their Instagram shop. Adding ads means ad revenue, should mean, higher earnings, etc. So I was like, let me try this thing for a day trade. I got long some September 17th, 367.5 calls for 677. Closed those out about an hour later for a nice winner. So I just put here taking the base hit, and Facebook ended up coming in a bit throughout the rest of the session. I closed out. I had some SPY 446 puts. I paid 572 for these. I closed them out for 475. So that was a little bit of a hedge. And, for this one, I was like, for me, whenever I'm wrong on a position, I like to just be like, all right, I was wrong on here, boom, and I just hit out of it. And that's kind of the way I operate. If I'm, long and it works, I try to stay there as long as possible. Then I closed out a quarter of my Pfizer puts for 261. So this was another trade that I was watching very closely today. So, in terms of getting some sell the news action, check this out. So Pfizer, there was a headline for Pfizer out yesterday, and it was like, oh, their vaccine booster was approved or something of that nature. And I was like, this is a pretty good short opportunity, because a lot of times the way the market works is, a stock will rally in anticipation of an event, such as like, a vaccine approval or whatever. Then a lot of times when the event happens, that's when suddenly, there's some profit taking. So Pfizer, fell pretty nicely in an up tape today. So I was pretty pumped about that. I closed out 25% of my short position. And my target's this 20-day simple moving average. It would be a real shame, team, if, this base right here just broke and we moved down to the 20-day. So we'll see what happens with Pfizer. But took a small target in that one. For 261, I paid 195, and then into the close. So I actually put back my SPY puts, except I rolled them up. So I got into September 17th, 448 strike puts for 568. This is another aspect of my trading where if I close something out because, hey, the exposure doesn't look like it's going to work, and then later on in the session, it looks like, oh, wow, I was actually right originally. I have no issues getting back into the exposure. So that's what I did there. Rolled that up, and we will see what happens. But that's, I'm pretty much like loaded with long, so that's like really my only short position, just in case we get some sort of pullback. We do have the Jackson Hole conference beginning tomorrow. So could there be some volatility associated with that? Definitely. That's why I want to have at least some exposure to the downside. And then for common stocks, I did a lot of trading today. I closed out my micro strategy for a small winner, essentially a scratch. I started a position in Roblox for 86.35. Roblox, check this out. Roblox ended up doing the right thing throughout the session. I like the way this one's setting up. So we were in a downtrend for a while, and then we broke above that 50-day simple moving average. Now we're above this monthly value area high. So definitely curious to see what Roblox does, but I'm liking this pattern. See, it took some Roblox long. And then I entered D-Low. So this is a power earnings gap setup. And I entered this in a few executions because I knew that there could be some gamesmanship around that power earnings gap level. So I entered in 3 lots for an average cost of $68.42. D-Low. This company reported awesome earnings. We got the power earnings gap, and we are now starting to push out above the high from the peg original day. See, I took that one long, and then also got long some Airbnb for 160, already in the money on that one. And then I closed out my SC common shares for $312.64. I'd paid $306.44 for those. SC, I think it's a great company, so why would you close it out? Doesn't make any sense. But SC, given that we're having this mini reopening trade, I think there could be a better place to put this capital for the time being. And do I think there's a chance we could end up shaking out and testing the 20-day? I actually do. So the risk reward here isn't as attractive to me as it was. See, I closed it out for a small winner, and I said, hey, I'll reallocate to something else. So those are my trades for today. Let's take a look at our Big Tech options races. Look at today's combined flows. Check it out. So Tesla, Tesla's pretty much always a flow leader. And Amazon as well. Amazon's been a flow leader. But Alibaba was a flow leader today, and that's very interesting to me. And also AMC. So with these small caps really moving, I guess we're back to the whole short squeeze thing again. I don't know. So AMC put in a good bar, but there's already some bag holders from today's session. So we'll see what AMC does. There's a whole AMC movement of people that love this stock. Could this one keep going? Absolutely. Up 20% today. Really nice day for the AMC longs. And then Baba. We already went through these Chinese stocks, but this one was up 6.61%. And for me, my mentality, I see a lot of, giddiness out there. And it's oh my gosh, everything's going up. Because I think today was a fantastic day for the markets. If you were an active trader, there were a lot of opportunities to really go for out there. And I noticed on FinTwit especially, there's this giddiness that happens when the market is up, or when all these stocks, have a really nice day. And for me, I definitely love that feeling of when you have a nice day, Futu's going up, awesome, some calls working. But I try to stay as centered as possible. Because if you're going to be super excited on the day when your portfolio is up, then you're also going to be super down in the dumps when your portfolio is down. And we all know as traders, I've been doing this long enough to know, you have really good days, and then you have, some hopefully not awful days, but there's, those down days, the volatility as well. So I try to keep myself as close to the center as possible. When there's a day like this in the market where a lot of things work, it's such a great feeling. I just try to be I just try to feel the gratitude where it's more just a calm, today was a good day. I'm grateful that, things worked out, whatever. But try not to get too crazy, oh my God, this is so awesome. I try to act like I've been here before. But overall, great day in the markets. And with that being said, that about does it for this market recap video. I will see you all tomorrow.